A good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. This is ABS and you're watching the evening news. And I am Ifunanya Amafili. Our headlines for this evening. Anambra state government refutes rumors of planned Okada ban in Nnewi. Stakeholders urge Anambra residents to step up their voting power on March 9th. Arawa Consultative Forum former Information Minister asks PDP's Abubakar to accept defeat. Two Saudi sisters who converted to Christianity and escaped abuse fear deportation. And we'll start with the news in details. The Anambra state government has stated it is not planning to restrict the operations of commercial motorcycles in Nnewi. This was stated in Okada by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adinuba, describing the rumor as politically motivated. The commissioner stated that the state government has always made it clear that Nnewi town would not be affected when the restriction order on the use of commercial motorcycles in Onitsha, the state commercial capital, and Oka, the administrative capital, was made in the middle of last year. Mr. Adinuba revealed that the rumors of the ban was started by a couple of politically exposed persons participating in the ongoing general elections in the country. He advised politicians to always tell their followers the truth rather than mislead them with all manners of propaganda. The commissioner noted that only societies which treat facts as sacred develop rapidly, while those who run on false propaganda experience tremendous development challenges. He explained that Anambra State has experienced unprecedented development in the last 4 years because of the government's commitments to the truth and issues which benefit the people generally. Mr. Adinuba remarked that the state government recognizes that the motorcycle business has a special place in Nnewi's astronomical development in the last few decades. Open defecation has been identified as one of the major causes of disease spread amongst people. The Water and Sanitation Hygiene WASH specialist of the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF Enugu, Mr. Ferdinand Nju, stated this during a 2-day workshop on institutional triggering and sensitization meetings for stakeholders in Anambra East, held at the local government headquarters, Otuocha. And our correspondent, Blessing Uchendu, was at the venue of the event and now reports.
The workshop, which was organized by European Union and UNICEF in collaboration with Anambra State Rural Water and Sanitation Agency, RWASA, had in attendance traditional rulers, presidents general, environmental health officers, representatives of various WASH communities in Anambra East, state UNICEF consultants, among other stakeholders. Addressing the participants, the WASH specialist, Mr. Njue, who was represented by the zonal WASH consultant, Mr. Toyin Adisa, called on the participants to promote good health by maintaining a clean and healthy environment.
This is running into water, especially streams, shallow wells, and what have you. If you have toilet, definitely move the surface. And then, if you are constructing toilet at the same time, toilet should be 30 meters away from our water sources.
On her part, the senior special assistant to the governor on donor agencies, Mrs. Mary Ogugwa, added that the workshop will help the community ascertain factors militating against implementation of ODF, take necessary actions toward solving the problems for improved and general health welfare of the people.
It's a very, very good, initiation and a very, very good, it was a welcome development. I feel with this triggering coming in and involving the Igwes, involving stakeholders, the PGs, and all those that are concerned, involving them, I know it's going to come out well. It will be a fruitful effort.
In their separate remarks, the Transition Committee Chairman, Anambra East Council Area, Honorable Pius Ifadi, and the Permanent Secretary, Public Utilities, Mr. Douglas Mba, maintained that all the communities must join in the fight to ensure that the area is open defecation free. The State Sanitation Officer, Rowasa, Mrs. Oluchi, said that the objective of the workshop was to bring the hygiene awareness to the doorsteps of the communities, and said that UNICEF had already taken the sensitization to schools, with plans already on to take the message to motor parks, markets, and other cluster points.
But now we want to reach out to the both private institutions and public secondary institutions. Also reach out to the markets, the parks, and the other public places towards driving the force to attainment of LGA-wide ODF.
The watch coordinator, Anambra East, Mrs. Helen Ofo, listed some of the challenges towards achieving total ODF to include lack of support, difficulty in construction of toilets, and lack of hygiene promotion materials. The traditional ruler of Aguleri Otu, Igwe Alex Edoziuno, and his Nando counterpart, Igwe John Iwuno, promised to take the message to their various communities and ensure that every household adhere to the message. From Anambra East Headquarters, Otuocha, Blessing Uchendo, ABS News.
New staff of Anambra Broadcasting Service, Okada, have been formally inducted into the establishment, and our correspondent, Kenechukwu Chukwudi, was at the event and now reports.
With enthusiasm, the young, newly recruited and casual staff gathered for the orientation program, which the primary aim was to get them informed on the workings of the civil service, the rules and regulations, and what is expected of them. In a lecture, a resource person, Mr. Adebayo Adeyinka, who took participants on topics centered on basic ethics, performance evaluation, and creative thinking, urged the newly recruited staff to always be subject to the rules and regulations guiding the service, which failure to do so have appropriate sanctions to ensure standards and order in the service.
Very carefully so that you'll be able to get as much as you need. Introduction: it is required of public servants in the performance of their official duties to strictly adhere to a set of detailed standards known as the Civil Service Code of Ethics. The Civil Service Code of Ethics. The code is likely expected to standardize the character of the service as well as to reinforce optimal service delivery.
The head of administration, ABS, Mrs. Tina Ekenta, and the director of news and current affairs of ABS, Mr. Gabe Okbaleze, in their goodwill messages, noted that the orientation was important for the staff to know the workings of the civil service as expected leaders who will take over in years to come, and also to be acquainted with the rules and regulations of service for optimum performance in public service.
Most of them came out from school direct. You understand? They don't even know the ethics of broadcasting. So they mix things up. My advice is just something that is so straight. For them to imbibe the spirit of that teaching. Once they imbibe from what is being taught them, the sky will be their limit. And once you be in that aspect, no query, nothing will go inside your file that will defile your file. And you will be moving.
When you are employed in the Anambra State Broadcasting Service, what it means is that apart from the rules guiding the ABS, you must also succumb to the public service rules of Anambra State. And there's no other office that has those rules at the tip of their fingers other than the office of the head of service from where the director came. So, once again, listen to help yourself. Listen and listen very, very attentively. Because when you fall afoul of any of the rules, you will not have any other person to blame except yourself.
Some of those inducted, Ms. Oluchikalu, a presenter, and Mr. Chibuzo Okoye, a reporter, noted that the program was enlightening as some of the regulations and rules they could not fathom the reason was better explained to their understanding, which will help them perform optimally in service. From the Anambra Broadcasting Headquarters in Okada, it's been Kenechukwu Chukwudi for ABS News.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the ABS, Chief Jing Mora, has commended the members of ABS Election Situation Room for adequately covering and airing of the February 23rd presidential and National Assembly elections in the state. Chief Mora made the commendation during a meeting with members of the Election Situation Room of the ABS at the corporate headquarters, Okada, to review the coverage and make adequate plans for the March 9th State Assembly elections. And our correspondent, Ngozi Obeleri, was there and now reports.
Both staff in Onitsha and Okada stations of the establishment were present at the meeting. Addressing the staff, Chief Mora appreciated them for their doggedness in informing in Anambra and beyond with the events as they happen, describing it as true journalism. He said that they should remain on top to maintain their position as the leading broadcast station in Southeast.
And please, let us keep this spirit, and that's what we want to see again next week Saturday. So I want to appreciate everybody for all the support. I think everybody did well. So let's now improve on what we've done. Broadcasting has gone now in this digital age. That you're able to bring it on radio and bring it on TV, that's half of the work done. If it has not gone online, you've not done any work. I'm telling you. Because even some of your local audience don't even watch TV or listen to radio. Everything now is on your laptop. Yeah.
Speaking, the Director News and Current Affairs Department, ABS, Mr. Gabe Obaleze, called for more analysis while covering the governorship and State House of Assembly elections come 9th March 2019 to get the people well informed.
Coming for the first time, please analysis will be good for people. So that they know what they're expecting.
Earlier, the coordinator ABS Situation Room and the head of Information Communication Technology ABS, Ms. Ugochukwu Afekelo, while congratulating all the members of the Situation Room for a job well done, pointed out corrections where necessary and said improvement will be made on some areas where they experienced shortfalls.
To smoothen it, what we have devised now is the use of headphone. The use of headphone. But what we will test maybe later today is whether the microphone that accompanies the headphone, is it laudable enough to be heard in the studio? So that you will talk as if you have your lapel and your earpiece. When the studio speaks to you, your earpiece brings the information direct to you. So you'll be able to communicate with them.
Some members of the Election Situation Room, including David Okbokwasile, Franka Ononuju, Godwin Unigwe, among others, also pointed out some areas where improvements are needed. In Oka, I am Ngozi Obeleri for ABS News.
And moving over to politics, the electorate in Anambra State have been urged to come out en masse to exercise their franchise on the March 9th House of Assembly elections. The state's treasurer of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Mr. Anthony Nwakile, who made the call while speaking to the press at the party's secretariat in Oka, reminded them of the need to preserve their permanent voters' card for the task ahead. Mr. Nwakile appealed to them to vote for the candidates of the All Progressive Grand Alliance vying for elective positions in the coming elections to consolidate the development enthronement of the Governor Willie Obiano's administration. According to the party's treasurer, Governor Obiano has recorded tremendous achievements as a governor and needs legislators who would assist him in the development efforts. Also, the chairman, Anambra State Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board, Professor Steve Ibenta, commended the high sense of maturity demonstrated by the Anambra electorate during the just concluded presidential elections. Professor Ibenta urged the Anambra electorate to also exercise their franchise to vote massively for all ABGA candidates come Saturday, March 9th. Still to come, Arawa Consultative Forum, former Information Minister asks PDP Abubakar to accept defeat. Two Saudi sisters who converted to Christianity and escaped abuse fear deportation. Do stay with us, we'll be back shortly.
Data. We can't live without it. Share it. Impress with it. Borrow it. Sell with it. Yeah, calm down, breathe. Celebrate with it. Breathe easy, knowing that with Glow, data is oxygen.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The Arawa Consultative Forum, ACF, has urged Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to concede defeat, having lost in the February 23rd presidential elections. A statement by Muhammadu Ibrahim Biu, ACF National Publicity Secretary, made available to the news agency of Nigeria in Kaduna, said Mr. Abubakar should accept the will of the people. The ACF, which supported Mr. Buhari against Mr. Abubakar, also urged other contestants to be magnanimous in defeat and congratulate their opponents who won. The forum commended the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for conducting a smooth and transparent election and refusing to be intimidated or cajoled by the initial logistic challenges, which led to the postponement of the election by 1 week and other unfortunate incidences. Also, a former information minister, Mr. Tony Momo, advised Mr. Abubakar to concede defeat and congratulate Mr. Buhari. Mr. Momo gave the advice in a telephone interview with the news agency of Nigeria in Lagos while reacting to the declaration of Buhari as the winner of the polls by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Mr. Momo said Mr. Abubakar would earn respect, nationality, and international if he accepts the outcome of the results as the wish of the people. The former minister also advised Mr. Abubakar not to go to court, but to call to congratulate Mr. Buhari as former President Goodluck Jonathan did in 2015. The Central Bank of Nigeria has said the Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, stands at 57.1 index points as of this month, indicating an expansion in the manufacturing sector for 23 consecutive months. The CBN said in its monthly Purchasing Managers Index Survey report by the Statistics Department posted on its website. The report said the index grew at a slow rate when compared to 58.5 index points recorded in February. According to the report, 13 out of the 14 subsectors assessed reported growth in the month reviewed in petroleum and coal products, electrical equipment, transportation equipment, plastic and rubber products, food, beverage, and tobacco products. The other sectors, the report said, include textile, apparel, leather and footwears, non-metallic mineral products, chemical and pharmaceutical products, furniture and related products, printing and related support activities, cement, fabricated metal products, and paper products. The report, however, said the primary metal subsector declined in the period reviewed. Now moving over to the foreign scene, 2 Saudi sisters who have been hiding in Hong Kong since September face an uncertain future on the last day of their permitted stay in the autonomous Chinese city. They said on Twitter under the handle HKS Saudi Sisters, a day before the end of their permit to stay in Hong Kong, that they are terrified that they will be forced to return to Saudi Arabia. The 2 Saudi sisters fled Saudi Arabia and are now in Hong Kong. They are at a risk of being deported back to the kingdom, which they say they escaped after experiencing beatings from their father and brothers. The sisters, who say they have converted to Christianity, claim they fled from a family holiday in Sri Lanka in Hong Kong, from where they had hoped to board a connecting flight to Australia. They claimed on Twitter that they were intercepted at Hong Kong airport by Saudi officials and have since gone into hiding. The pair, who have been identified as Ren and Rawan, claim to have moved 13 times to avoid detection. They said Saudi Arabia cancelled their passports, but they were afraid to go to the Hong Kong consulate to renew them. And on our sports desk, Arsenal manager Unai Emery believes the opportunity to inch closer to within a point of Tottenham's Hotspur in the Premier League will be a big motivation for his players ahead of Saturday's North London derby. Midfielders Mesut Ozil and Henrik Mkhitaryan marked their sparkling return to form as Arsenal eased past Bournemouth 5-1 at the Emirates Stadium yesterday. The win, coupled with Tottenham's loss at Chelsea, means fourth-placed Arsenal heads to Wembley this weekend, 4 points adrift of their local rivals. Mkhitaryan and Ozil both put themselves in contention to start the derby with a goal apiece against Bournemouth. Arsenal manager Unai Emery refused to be drawn on whether the pair had done enough to feature in his tactical plans for the weekend. Don't forget that you can follow our news and programs on ABS from any part of the world simply by logging onto our website, which is www.absradiotv.com, or like us on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television, and follow us on our Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube handle at ABS Radio TV. Now, before we end the news, we'll go through our headlines for this evening. Anambra State government has refuted rumors of planned Okada in Nnewi. Stakeholders are urging Anambra residents to step up their voting powers on March 9th. Arawa Consultative Forum former Information Minister Momo have asked PDP's Abubakar to accept defeat. 2 Saudi sisters who converted to Christianity and escaped abuse are afraid they will be deported. And with that, we'll come to the wrap of the news this evening. Many thanks for being with us. My name is Ifunanya Amafili. Have a pleasant evening.